Hi guys, it's Bree. As you can tell from the background that I am no longer in Oxford, I'm actually back at home in London. A lot has changed between when I was actually vlogging and my life right now. I'm smiling because I filmed this earlier and I was so moody. I was so salty at the whole situation that I was actually like this for the whole video, and I thought, no, if I don't want to look at myself, you guys will definitely not want to look at my video. So I decided to do it again. I'm smiling now, but I'm smiling because I'm trying to channel positivity. I don't want you guys to think that I'm fine. I'm not fine. I'm very angry, but I'm gonna smile anyway because positivity. Anyway, this is very different from my usual vlogs that I do. I know I've been very inconsistent. I cannot promise that I will be more consistent in the future because life happens and this is not my job. This is a side thing. It's like a little hobby I do. And to be honest with you, I did leave this channel to die. I was waiting for it to die away, then no one to care about it, but I was still getting like comments and messages, so I felt kind of bad. So I was like, oh, okay. I did really enjoy it. So I've started it up again, which is why I like 2020, the year of YouTube videos. But I had a lot of plans of what I wanted to do for the last 6 months of my time in Oxford. But obviously those things did not come to pass. I feel like I went through the whole, is there like 5 stages of grief and mourning? I think I went through all of those. Because I was definitely in denial. I was like, no, like coronavirus will disappear by May, we'll be perfectly fine, we'll be able to start our exams, etc. But then when things started to shut and I actually started reading the news and I actually found out like how bad coronavirus was, I was like, oh. Ignorance is bliss, because it was, because I was living my best life, because I didn't fully understand how bad it was. I was just like, it's fine, whatever. But then when I knew, I was like, I'm living in my worst nightmare, which is a zombie apocalypse. That's for another video. I'm off on a tangent, so we're going to be back because I have a list. I have a list written down on my big phone. That's what I call this. Oh, you can see the camera. Shout out to my little sister who got it for me. But yeah, I wrote a list of things that I wanted to talk about. But a few weeks ago, I got an email from my college telling me that I had 24 hours to vacate my room. This came the day after the government announced national lockdown. And to be honest with you, I had expected that it was going to come, but I just didn't know when it was going to come, and I really thought that at least my college would give me more warning rather than 24 hours. I don't know, 3 days, so I could actually pack up my life and get someone to help me get all my stuff in Oxford back to London, but that was not the case. No. So they called me up. I said 24 hours is not enough. I'm disabled. I cannot get back home by myself with all my stuff. I can't pack my stuff in 24 hours. It's not going to happen. And also, to kick someone out of their room with 24 hours notice is illegal. You're supposed to give them like a month notice, I think, but at least a weekend. And he just laughed at me. So obviously that's the way that my college says no. So yeah, I had to accept it. I got all of my stuff, packed it up, left. Uncle came to pick me up. So thank you, Uncle Ricky. And I'm back home in London. So first question. What's going to happen with classes? So classes, as it's going to be the case for loads of different universities and schools across the world, are going to be online now. I'm guessing it's going to be through Zoom. They actually made a lot of people, basically almost, I think 95% of students are back home in their respective countries and houses, so everything's going to be virtual. There is a possibility that they will allow people to move back in at the start of term if they can't work at home, but in terms of exams, freshers have had their exams cancelled. I believe they've all been cancelled, and people in the 2nd or 3rd or 4th year of their degree but not the final year, their exams have either been cancelled or pushed back. So I know that my one friend doing maths, I think he can pick the papers he wants to sit. He's 3rd year. My other friends doing like material science and medicine, they've been pushed back till next term, so not this summer term as in Michaelmas, so autumn. And to be honest with you, most people aren't too annoyed by that. They're kind of like, listen, I was not on job and the the papers, okay. If I had done them with my own strength, I might not have done so well. And that's kind of like a unanimous opinion that everyone has, including me. I was revising yesterday and I started to realize, like, if it wasn't for online exams, I would have to learn all of these translations off by heart. And these translations are in Japanese and Korean and modern Japanese, as in 21st century Japanese, but also Japanese written like 600, 700, 800 years ago, and the same with Korean. And so having to cram that all into your head would have been very stressful. So I'm kind of happy that I can do that online. Finalists also have online exams, and there's something somewhere. Oh, is it recording? It is. Hi. So finalists do have exams, but they're going to be online. They're going to give you an extra hour in case of like the internet messes up and stuff, and they're allowed to be open book. They basically log the time that you download the paper and they log the time that you upload it, and you have to upload it within a 24-hour period. And so that helps with people who are in different countries and they can't, you know, wake up at 4 a.m. to go sit an exam at the same time as UK time. But the issue that a lot of students have is that if it's happening at home and there's no monitoring taking place, then what proof does the university have that the work that they've submitted is their own work? It's just, it's so easy to cheat. And it makes me stressed because I'm just thinking, I want to have my own integrity, I want to be honest and write my exams to the best of my own ability without using any outside help. But everybody else might not think the same way, and so they could ask their father who works and does economics, or they can ask their mom who's French to like read through their paper, or they can get a tutor online to just check, because if you've got 4 hours, you could use one of those hours to just go through everything you've written. It's just and like, obviously I don't know what would be better than this, to be honest. I know, I think Imperial want to do like eye tracking software to make sure you're not cheating, but it's just so hard to figure it out that I don't know what they would do instead. Another problem is the fact that they assume that having your exams at home means that you have the time and space to have exams at home, that you're not living in a house with multiple siblings, sharing a room with your siblings like I am, or having to look after your niece, which is what I do as well, while you're trying to study and also sit all of your exams. And so it depends on the person's like economic advantages, economic benefits, as to whether they'll do well in the exam, on their personal circumstances. And the whole point of going to university and living there is to cut out as many of the discrepancies between students so that they do things to the best of their ability. And obviously that can't happen if we're at home. I've got 8 exams now. They've cancelled 2 of them, and they're 4 hours long, but I get extra time, so they're going to be 4 hours and 45 minutes. So graduation, what's happening with graduation? The answer is that I don't know. Graduations in May have been cancelled. I'm not so sure about June, and as far as I've seen, my graduation, which is the 31st of July, has not been cancelled either. I'm hoping that stays that way so I can actually graduate in 2020 and I'll have to come back to the university next year, because I don't like university anymore. Like, I just I'm done. I don't want to go back. So hopefully it happens this year. Hopefully in July, where it's nice and warm, rather than having it in October when it's cold or I might be working and stuff. But there's been so much uncertainty, really, because departments are giving students information about exams at different rates, and our department was being so slow, and we gave them patience. We waited for them to like have our surveys. We handed them in, we gave them the time to read through them. They just weren't giving us any information, and we had 3 weeks before our first exam and we weren't hearing anything. And so everyone was writing emails. We were writing joint emails, we were writing individual emails. They weren't telling us anything. The Pro Vice Chancellor of Education for the University of Oxford said on the 1st of April that we would have an update on what our exams would be like, their format, etc., by the end of this week. So I was like, great, we're finally going to find out, because I've been stressed. I've been like, am I supposed to be revising? Are we going to sit exams? Are we going to do portfolios where we have to hand in work? like which exams have been cancelled. Like I need to know so that I can study effectively. I'm not going to waste my time writing up kanji by hand every single day if I can do it on a computer. So Friday comes, we get an email telling us that we have 8 exams which are 4 hours long, and I'm like, we already knew that. We already knew that. Like, we were hoping for portfolios, but as the days went on, we realized, okay, no, it's going to be open book exam. So we'd already clocked it was a 4-hour open book exam. So we waited 3 weeks for you to email us telling us that it's a 4-hour open book exam. So basically, I wrote a very, very, very angry email. And this was because not only did my faculty send me that email, a few hours later, my Korean tutor told us to stop studying, and I was like, how can they tell us revise as usual? The university, our colleges, the department said revise as usual, and then our tutor tells us to stop. I basically flipped the switch. I'm laughing now. I'm laughing so I don't cry. I sent a very, very, very angry email to him and to the department and to tutors, and then they like got back to me and they apologized. And by Monday, so we got the emails on. It's gonna cut out on me. Okay, I'm gonna come back. Hi guys, Bree's back. I don't know if the setup looks a bit different, but basically I ran out of video and then I had to empty my SD card. So I'm back and the sun is out. It's like, look, my channeling of positivity actually made the sun appear. So look at God, we thank you, amen. But yeah, I was just listening back to what I was saying, and I don't know what I said before this video cut out. In terms of like my little stages, I went through denial, I've gone to acceptance, but then there was a little bit of mourning and a bit of grief because I had a lot of plans of what I wanted to do, not in terms of YouTube, just like with my friends and little coffee shops I wanted to visit in Oxford for the last time, to visit certain libraries I hadn't been to before, just spend my last term with all of my friends. A lot of us are graduating, but some of us are still going to be here. I have friends in 1st, 2nd and 3rd year, and so I kind of saw like my last term as the first 4 weeks was going to be like goodbye, goodbye, good friends, goodbye. Don't know if any of you lot watched that TV show, but it didn't happen, and so I was just kind of sad, and I came back and I was like, it's not like I never wanted to come back home, but I wanted to come back home kind of triumphant with like a victory. Like I had survived Oxford, I had done all my exams, passed all my classes, and now I was coming back home to start the new chapter of my life. But instead I'm coming home because we're going to be locked in our houses for a few months. And it's quite interesting because, well, I don't know if it's interesting or funny, but for years my mum would beg me to leave the house because I did not want to leave the house. I loved being inside because I hated the outside. Now I want to go outside, and I'm just like, but it's not like I want to go outside because I genuinely want to. Because I can't go outside, now I want to go outside. But obviously I don't want to die. I don't want to be an asymptomatic carrier and pass it on to someone else. Yeah, so it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, but we're gonna keep on smiling because I need to reinvigorate my mental health because it's slipping. So what does this mean for my new videos? I was actually high-key, low-key, high-key thinking of deleting everything and starting again with like a brand new channel, like a different name, like everything, and then I thought I can't be bothered. But I think I am going to start changing the way that I film things. Obviously all of my films that I film at the moment are going to be at home, so I think I'll be doing like be productive with me videos or like study with me videos. But I've got a few things that I've got a lot of videos that I filmed, at least 30 over the past 3 years, so I want to kind of upload those as well. I don't know, it's kind of weird because my whole life, or 17 years of my existence, has been for the finale, for the showdown, which is finishing university with a degree and then becoming a real adult. So the fact that that final year was just like taken from me is kind of just like I kind of wish why didn't this happen last year, why didn't it happen next year? But then that's really selfish because it's just like, because it's just affecting me as an individual. It should change, like the other people before me or the other people after me should suffer, which isn't fair on them. It's fine, we move. I'm still going to graduate at the end of this year. I'm still going to start my job in November. I'm going to be uploading videos on YouTube as well. Let me know how you guys are dealing with being locked down because of Auntie Rona. If you have any more videos you want me to make, let me know. If you like the new setup and the thumbnail and the things that I've added to my channel, let me know as well, so I know to keep on doing them. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.